Good evening, everyone. My name is Daniel from Daniel Lee Yoga. Thank you for joining me for class today on a nice Friday evening. I hope you've enjoyed your week wherever you are. Today we have a 60-minute Vinyasa Flow Class, Level 2, and this week we're working on inversions. Um, and in level two, we're going to begin to introduce some more advanced postures. We'll be building off of what we've been doing earlier in the week. If you've been familiar, if you've caught the fundamental or the level one class, you may be familiar with some of the poses that we'll go through today. But we are going to introduce some more advanced inversions. And it goes without saying that inversions can be risky. And so I just want to take the time at the beginning of class to just really emphasize the importance of knowing when you're ready to approach something that may be more advanced for you. Now, inversions can be more calming, they can be more invigorating, and really it's up to you to decide how you're going to approach the practice today. And if you're looking for more calm practice or more invigorating practice, that's up to you. It is going to be level two, so we are going to definitely build some heat today, really have some fun. So I hope you're ready to get started soon. I just want to take a second to give an early happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, and I believe my mom is watching today. So hi mom, and happy early Mother's Day. I hope you all enjoy your weekend and your Mother's Day to come. Now, as far as just general benefits of inversions, like I said, they can be calming or invigorating, but really they start to build upper body strength and a lot of proprioception as far as your awareness in space. Inverting, having your head below your heart, can really give you a unique perspective on your environment. And so we're going to have a lot of different modifications along the way. So if you don't feel like you're ready to advance to the highest stage that we're going towards today, don't worry about it. You'll still have plenty of modifications and you should still get a lot out of class. We're really going to be opening up the shoulders and the chest, bringing some awareness to the shoulder blades and the back. And we're going to stay safe throughout. So I hope you're ready to get started. I don't think I have any other notes. We're back here in the jungle today. I've got my magical floating mat. We'll see if any magical cats decide to float up around me today. We'll see if they make an appearance. So yeah, it looks like the stream is all good. If anyone's on the stream and wants to check in, that always helps. Looks like from my phone we're all good. From the stream that looks good, which is great. If anyone wants to check in, great. If not, we'll get started in just a moment here. As far as props for today, if you have a strap, just have that handy. If you have a belt, I just have a belt today. Keep that handy nearby. Not really going to use the blocks today, but if you have them or if you like to sit up on them, you can always have those handy. But we will, when we get into our more advanced inversion, we will be using the wall. And the wall can definitely help. It's not necessary if you're more comfortable with your inversions, you may not need it, but it can really help to build up and give you some awareness within your body as you grow and get more comfortable with your inversions. So we'll be coming to the wall later today. So I think we are ready to get started. So we're going to start today's practice on our backs. So let's meet on our backs today. And as you gently come onto your back, have your knees slightly bent, arms down at your side, palms down. Just take an inhale here and exhale. One more inhale and exhale. Now gently draw the knees into your chest. Give a gentle squeeze. Try to flex your feet. Start to engage the muscles in the legs. And you can gently rock from side to side here. So just gently rock side to side. Just beginning to wake up that lower back. From side to side, just a couple more times each side. And just meet me back stillness in the middle. Now release your hands down to the sides. Keep hugging your right knee into your chest and extend the left leg by straightening the bottom of the left foot come towards the ceiling. So your arms are down at your side, right knee into your chest, left leg straightens, heel presses towards the ceiling. Rebend that left knee and switch to the other side. So now straighten that right leg straight up so that the right heel presses up towards the ceiling. You're still flexing that right foot. And just gently rebend that right knee. Let's do the left side again. Straighten that left leg, press that left heel up to the ceiling, and gently bend that left knee. Let's straighten that right leg, press the right heel up towards the ceiling, and gently rebend the right knee. Just hug both knees into your chest, slight wrap of the arms. Take an inhale and exhale. Now let's release the arms overhead. So bring your arms overhead. Have your thumbs down and your pinkies up towards the ceiling. Now your hands may not come all the way to the ground, that's fine. But your thumb should be towards the ground and your fingertips up towards the ceiling so that your palms are facing each other. These are still in towards your chest. Now keep your left knee hugged in towards your chest. Extend that right leg straight up to the ceiling again. Flex those right toes. And let's gently release that right heel to the ground while keeping that right leg straight. Now exhale as you draw that right leg back up, keeping it straight. And inhale, extend, right heel hovers an inch or two off the ground. Exhale as you bring it back up. And inhale as you release and extend, maybe an inch or two off the ground. Let's do that 2 more times. Exhaling as you draw the right leg back up. Inhale as you release. 1 more time, drawing back up in the air. And exhale, release that right leg. Hover for a moment, and then draw that right knee into your chest. Let's switch to the other side. So extend and straighten that left leg up towards the ceiling. Press that left heel up. And now as you inhale, release that left leg straight out, keeping it straight, inch or two above the mat. Exhale, bring that leg back up. Press the heel up towards the ceiling. Inhale as you gently release down. Hover inch or two off the mat. And exhale, come back up. Keep going on your breath. Just bring some awareness to your low back. Are you arching to make this happen? See if you can softly draw that navel in and down. Really want a nice long spine and a nice long tailbone when we invert. It really helps to lengthen the spine here. Just do 1 more time, lowering that left leg. And then bring it back up. Draw those knees into your chest. Give 1 more nice little squeeze here. And exhale. Now wrap your hands around your thighs. Let's roll up and down the spine a couple times. So your legs come overhead. You're just gently rocking up and down the spine. And we're just going to come up to a cross-legged seated position. So just meet me there. Maybe you roll up, cross your legs, and that's how you get there. Maybe you just let your legs fall off to the side. Just meet me in a nice cross-legged seat. Feet are underneath the knees. Hands are on top of the, palms are on top of the knees. Root down through the sit bones, rise up through the crown of your head. Take an inhale and exhale. We'll be here for a couple minutes, so if you ever need to sit up to give you a little more elevation, roll up the mat, use your blocks, sit up on a pillow, do what you need to do. Take 1 more inhale and exhale. Now let's inhale as we bring the arms out and up, overhead, palms touch, and exhale, release down to the sides, palms down. Inhale, arms up overhead, palms touch, and exhale, release down to the sides. 2 more times, just waking up the shoulders here. Exhale as you release. Inhale, arms up overhead, and exhale as you release. This time as you inhale, bring the arms up overhead, palms touch. Release the right arm down, extend the left arm up. Let's add a slight side lean here. Keep both sit bones rooted as you lean. And inhale, come back up to center. Exhale as you drop your left arm, extend that right arm up. Nice side lean here. Inhale, both arms up to center. 1 more time, each side. Drop the right arm down, extend that left arm up. Great length in both sides of your body. Inhale, both arms up, palms touch. Exhale, drop the left arm, extend that right arm nice and long. Inhale, back up the center. Now, keep both arms up overhead. Just take an inhale here. And exhale. Now this time I want you to bend your elbows and grab opposite elbows with both hands. Now, if you can't quite keep your arms over your head, don't worry about it. If they're a little bit farther towards your forehead, that's fine. But just bring some awareness here. Are you starting to like shorten up the stance in your shoulders and your ears to make this happen? See if you can draw those shoulders down. Firm those outer upper arms in to really start to create some space here. Maybe slightly send your chest forward and up, driving your tailbone down, sending your pelvis back. Just take one more inhale here and exhale. Now let's inhale both arms up again. I want you to just leave your right arm up. Take your left arm, grab the outer triceps of that right arm. Again, just try to wrap that in. Just see how that feels. See how it feels as you use that left arm to wrap that right arm in. That right palm should face towards the left side. Maybe it starts to face back as you just start to wrap it in. Just stay for an inhale as you hold here. And exhale. Now send both arms back up, palms touch. And now release the right arm to the outer tricep of that left arm. Again, wrapping the outer upper arm in. This is really important, again, in our inversions to really activate and firm that outer upper arm in. It creates a lot more space and length in the spine. Just stay for one more breath. And exhale. Bring both arms up, palms touch. And exhale, release your hands down to the center of your chest and down to the sides. All right, let's grab the strap. Shoulders are a little warmed up now. Let's add our Gomukhasana arms here. This is always a great shoulder opener to start. So let's start by placing the strap over let's do your right shoulder first. Let's extend that right arm out, palm faces down to start. Externally rotate so the right palm comes up. Raise that right arm overhead, bend the right elbow. Go ahead and grab that strap. Extend the left arm out, internally rotate opposite way so the palm faces back. Bend that left elbow and grab the strap behind your back. So again, once you grab that strap, you can start to walk your fingertips a little bit closer together. Maybe you don't need a strap, you can bring your fingers together. But either way, try and draw that right elbow up, draw the left elbow down. Now, as you do that, my chest always puffs out a little bit. Yours may also. And so that creates a little bit more of an arch in that low back. You may feel that. So see if just how we were on the ground. See if you can softly draw your navel in and back. Breathe into those back ribs to create a nice long spine. You can gently press the back of your head into that top arm. Draw the elbows away from each other. Just one more breath here. And gently exhale. Release the strap if you have it. Send the arms out to the sides and both palms down. Go ahead and place the strap to the other side if you're using it. So now I have it on my left side. I'm going to extend my left arm out. Externally rotate so that left palm faces up. Left arm comes up toward the ceiling. Bend that left elbow. Go ahead and grab your strap there. Extend that right arm out. Internally rotate so the palm faces back. Bend that right elbow. Go ahead and grab your strap. And again, if you are using your strap, you can maybe walk your fingertips a little bit closer. If not, just stay where you are. Really, the actions here are, again, trying to reduce the arch in that back, drawing the navel in and back. Breathing into the back ribs to create a nice long spine. And just drawing the elbows away from each other. It's going to reinforce the firming this outer upper arm in here as well. So just stay for one more breath in your Gomukhasana arms here. Face of a cow pose. Take one more inhale. And exhale, gently release the strap. You can place the strap off to the side, send both arms out, palms down. Just keep that strap handy, maybe it's at the top of your mat. Now, while we're here, go ahead and switch the clasps of your legs. So now, whichever one is in front, send it behind. Let's rebalance out those legs here. So we're still going to sit for a moment here, and while we're here, now, as far as the inversion that we're working towards, it's the version of headstand. Our head is going to be, the top of our head is going to be on the ground, and our hands are going to be supporting the back of our head. So it's really important to reinforce the finger arrangement here. So go ahead and clasp your fingers together. I'm just going to come a little closer to the camera so you can see. So when you clasp your fingers together, a lot of times your pinky can come underneath. So what I want you to do is actually have that pinky come inside the edge, and then you can release both thumbs down to the ground. So you can see normally your pinky might want to wrap around, so this time it's on the inside edge. So that way, when we're on the ground and placing our hands down, both pinkies can set very nicely down onto the ground there. So just stay in your seat. And we're just going to practice that a little bit while we're sitting here. So extend the arms straight out while keeping your fingers clasped. And now reach your arms overhead. And gently bend your elbows back. Try to keep your elbows in. Try not to let them splay out. You want to keep them shoulder width. And just bend your elbows back to your capacity while keeping that clasp of those fingers. Again, try to reinforce the action of firming those outer upper arms in. Draw the backs of the shoulder blades down your back, creating some nice length in the spine. Take one more inhale here. And exhale. All right, re-straighten those arms. Send the arms forward, release the clasp of your fingers, and arms come down to the sides. Let's come into tabletop now. So remember the clasp of those fingers. We'll come back to that throughout class. Now, in our tabletop pose, hands are underneath shoulders, knees are underneath the hips, and the tops of the feet are to the ground. Just take one inhale here, and exhale. Let's add some cat-cow. So let's inhale as we drop our navel, send our heart forward, look up in your cow. Exhale, round the back, separate the shoulder blades, head hangs heavy into cow. Inhale, arching the back, heart forward, look up, cow. And exhale, rounding your back into cat. Just keep going 2 more times on your breath. Just make it nice and slow and meditative as you move through. Arms are nice and straight throughout. And you're gently pressing down to the base of each finger and each palm. Once you finish that last one, just meet me in a nice neutral spine. And take an inhale in your tabletop. And exhale. Now let's release down to our forearms. So elbows come right where your wrists are. So now your elbows are directly beneath your shoulders. And the palms are pressing gently down in towards the mat. There's shoulder width distance as well. So this is our tabletop on our forearms. We're going to add our legs to the party here. So let's extend the right leg back. Right heel presses back. Bring that right leg up to hip height. And now as you exhale, that right leg is going to come out to the side. Bend the knee. Maybe the right knee comes up towards that right tricep. You can slightly round your back here. And let's inhale as we re-extend that right leg back. Keep it up at hip height. And exhale, draw that towards your right tricep. Inhale, extending the right leg back. Let's do 2 more times. So that right leg comes out to the side as you bend the right knee. Send it up, round your back slightly. And inhale as you extend back. Keep that right leg hip height. 1 more time. Bend that right knee up. And extend that right leg back. Release that right leg to the ground. Right knee, top of the right foot comes to the ground. Let's switch to the other side. So now extend your left leg back. Press back to the left heel, flexing those toes. And exhale as you draw that left knee to the outer edge of that left tricep. And inhale as you extend back. Press back through that left heel. Keep it up at hip height. Let's exhale as you come forward, slight round. And inhale as you extend back. 2 more times. Exhale as that elbow comes to tricep. Inhale, extending back. Press back through the heel. 1 more time. Elbow to tricep. And exhale as you release back. Release that left knee down. And come back to your forearm tabletop. Now we're going to go through that series again, but add our arms. So it's going to be a little more of a balance here. If the balance is a little too much for you right now, just do what we just did. Otherwise, we're going to add the arms here. So start by extending the right leg back, pressing back through the right heel. Right leg is straight and at hip height. Extend the left arm forward. Just get your balance. Left palm faces in. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, that right leg comes forward. Bend the right knee. Draw the left arm back as you bend the left elbow. Inhale, extend both out where we started. And exhale, draw that right knee up. Maybe that right knee doesn't come quite to your tricep while you're doing this. Keep going on your breath. Mine doesn't. And inhale as you extend. Let's do 1 more. Exhale as the elbow comes back, knee comes forward, and re-extend here. Let's release that left arm down, right knee down, and switch to the other side. A little bit of balance here, a little bit of strength, building a little bit of heat. So extend that left leg back, press the left heel back, extend the right arm forward, right palm faces in. Take an inhale, and exhale as you send that left knee up to the top, bend that right elbow back, and inhale, extend. Elbow bends, knee bends on your exhale, and inhale, extend. 2 more times. Bending the knee up towards that tricep, right elbow comes back, inhale, extend. 1 more time here, and inhale, extend. Release the right arm down, release the left leg down. Keep those toes uncurled. Let's press our hips back towards our heels into our first child's pose here. Child's pose, one of our favorite inversions here. Just typically more calming for people here, so just take a moment to catch your breath with your forehead on the mat. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Now lift your hips back off your heels, come back into that forearm tabletop, and we're going to clasp our hands again just like how we had before when we were sitting up. So when you clasp your hands, remember that pinky comes to the inner edge of that inner hand, that inner palm, and release that down to the mat. So try to have a nice straight line between your wrists and your forearm. So you don't want to bend too much one way or the other. You want to have it nice and straight. So elbows are still underneath the shoulders. Both pinkies are gently pressing down into the mat. Keep both thumbs on tops of your fingers. And we're just going to play around with adding our top of the head to the mat. So when we come up in our more advanced inversion that we're working towards headstand today, the top of our head comes to the mat. So we're just going to work on that a little bit just to see how it feels here. We're going to stay on our knees, but we're going to come with the top of our head to the mat. So in order to do that, just have your wrists nice and open to accept your head here. You're going to release the top of your head to the mat so that the back of your head is cradled by your fingers. You might need to walk your knees in slightly just to get comfortable here. We're not doing anything more than just kind of getting comfortable with the arrangement here. So you gently have the top of your head, so it's the crown of your head. It's not your forehead, it's not your hairline, it's the crown of your head is pressing down into the mat. And the back of your head is supported by your palms and your fingers. So just see how that feels. And even here, see if you're starting to dump into your shoulders a little bit. Try to firm those outer upper arms in. Draw the backs of the shoulder blades down the back. Just stay for one more breath here. And exhale. Now keep the clasp of your hands. You can lift your forehead up, but keep those arms on the ground. Send your knees back slightly, maybe 6 to 12 inches. Keep the toes uncurled. Now sit your hips back towards your heels. Now you're in child's pose with your hands bound here. So release your forehead to the mat. With your hands bound, now bend your elbows so that the hands come over the head. Maybe the elbows come to that spine, that back of the neck. Or maybe they're just overhead. But again, here's another opportunity to firm those outer upper arms in. Create some nice space in those shoulders. Make sure you're not dumping into the shoulders here. If you're comfortable here, maybe you walk your elbows forward an inch or two and see how that creates a little more space in those outer shoulder blades. Just stay for one more breath here. And exhale, gently straighten those arms. Release the clasp of your fingers. Lift your head up and come back into your tabletop position here. Now, in our tabletop, curl your toes under and just set your knees back maybe an inch or two so that they're a little bit farther back behind your hips. Now we're going to start to add some movement, start to warm up the body here. So, tabletop to child's pose is our first option. So, send your hips back towards your heels with your toes curled under, keep them curled, and then lift back up to the tabletop, shoulders over wrists. Send your hips back, and then shoulders over wrists. Just keep going on your breath. Just beginning to wake up, warm up, getting ready. And send it back. Lifting up, shoulders over wrists. and sending back. Keep going. One or two more times here. And then meet me back in tabletop. So you can keep doing that, or if you want to advance, we're going to curl our toes under, keep our toes curled under, lift our knees up, lift our hips up, come into downward facing dog. Downward facing dog with our knees bent, and then we're going to shift forward into plank, shoulders over wrists. Shifting back, knees bent, down dog, and shifting forward, shoulders over wrists. Again, if this is a little too much for you, just do what we were doing when we were on our knees when we moved from child's pose to tabletop. Otherwise, we're just going to pump and we're going to move shoulders over wrists and bent knee down dog. Just keep moving back and forth on your breath. Or maybe you can ramp it up, go a little bit faster, or make it nice and slow. But as you're doing this, again, try not to dump into those shoulders. Another opportunity to firm those outer upper arms in, keeping those arms nice and straight the whole time wherever you are. Keep drawing the backs of the shoulder blades down the back. You'll hear me say that more than once today. And just create some nice length in both sides of the torso. Just do one more time wherever you are. And now everyone meet in down dog. Get your knees slightly bent. Now we're going to walk our hands back one handprint closer to your feet. So you're now in like a shortened down dog with your knees slightly bent. Now shift some weight into the left arm. You're going to raise up onto those right fingertips. We're going to add a twist. So keep your knees bent to start. Right fingertips. Now release your right hand. Twist underneath your body to the outside edge of that left ankle. Once you can clasp the left ankle, if you can't quite reach the ankle or the bottom of the left foot, you can grab the shin, whatever works for you. But then you can turn from that navel up, maybe look under that left arm. Add a nice twist here in your down dog. If you'd like, you can begin to start to straighten those legs slightly. Just stay for one more breath. And exhale, gently release the right arm where it started. Back in your bent knee down dog with a shortened stance. Now tent up on those left fingertips. Keep the knees bent. And now send the left arm under to the outside edge of that right foot. So grab either the right ankle or the right shin, whatever works for you. And then turn from the navel up. Maybe you look underneath that right armpit, looking up towards the ceiling. Staying for a breath or two here. Maybe start to straighten your legs. One more breath. And gently rebend the knees. Release the left arm down. Inhale as you gaze forward. Bend the knees. Exhale, walk or step to the top of the mat. Feet are hips width distance, standing forward fold here. Let your knees bend. Maybe your chest rests on your thighs. And clasp opposite elbows. We're now in our ragdoll pose. So again, and this is another inversion here with our head below our heart. Could be more calming or more invigorating depending on how you choose to approach it here. But either way, you're gently pressing down through the feet and trying to release the shoulders away from the ears. Trying to create some nice length in the spine. Head and arms hang nice and heavy here. You can gently rock from side to side. Or you can just stay in stillness in the middle. Just make it your ragdoll. Now everyone meet back in stillness. Release the clasp of your elbows, arms and head hangs heavy. We're gently going to roll up to standing, so press your feet into the mat, spin your inner thighs in and back, and gently roll up from the lower spine, one vertebrae at a time, coming up to standing. Take your time. Head is the last thing to arrive. And once you arrive up, just shrug those shoulder blades up and back. Yeah. Okay. Come back to the top of your mat if you're not already there. Feet are hips width distance, heels behind the center toes. Arms are down to the sides, palms face forward. Just take a breath here as you soften your shoulders away from your ears. All right, let's keep moving. Let's inhale the arms up overhead, palms touch, look up. Bend the knees, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, nice flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Press your feet into the mat, inhale, arms up overhead, palms touch, look up. Exhale, hands down to the center of your chest and down to the side. Keep going. Inhale, arms up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from the hips, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, nice flat back. And exhale, forward fold. This time, plant your hands to the mat. Step your right foot back, step your left foot back. We're staying in plank for a couple breaths here. You can always drop to your knees in plank. But either way, shoulders are over the wrists. Make sure those wrist creases are lined up with the short edge of the mat or slightly turned down. Again, keep firming those outer upper arms in. Drawing the backs of the shoulder blades down the back, sending your heart forward here. Lifting those inner thighs in and up to create nice straight legs. One more breath here. Now everyone drop to your knees. Shift the torso forward, bend the elbows back, lower all the way to the mat. Uncurl the back toes. So we're not coming up into cobra, we're trying something a little different today. So extend the arms forward, palms face each other with your forehead to the mat. So now your pinkies are down, your thumbs are facing up towards the ceiling. Make sure you can see me here. So now with your forehead on the mat and our arms straight out in front of us, palms face down, press the tops of the feet into the ground, press the hips into the mat, and on your next inhale, lift your arms up and your head up, send your heart forward. Stay for a breath. And exhale, gently release the forehead down. Let's try that one more time. Inhale, lift your arms up and your head up. Send the heart forward. Draw the back of the shoulder blades down the back. And exhale, gently release. Let's place the arms back beside your chest, your ribs here. Make sure your arms are underneath your elbows. Curl those back toes under. Lift your hips up through tabletop. And then hips up through downward facing dog. Stay in your downward facing dog for just a couple breaths here. Make sure you're pressing your chest back towards your thighs, gently pressing the fingers into the mat, lifting the forearms up and off. Pressing those heels down towards the floor. One more breath here. And exhale. Now in your down dog, let's lift that right leg up, press that right heel back. You're up at hip height this time. And now we're going to bend that right knee to the outer tricep as we shift our torso forward, shoulders over wrists. So we were here before in tabletop. Let's inhale, extend that right leg up and back. And exhale, bend that right knee, send it to that right tricep. Inhale, extend, right leg comes up and back. One more time. Bend that right knee, send it up towards the right tricep. Stay forward. Right knee comes to the inside edge of that right foot, that right hand, and then release that right foot to the mat. Now, we're coming into our low lunge. Make sure the right foot is on the right side of the mat. Left foot is on the left side. Left heel is pressing back. If you need to drop to your knee, you can. Otherwise, keep that left knee up off the mat. Release that left arm down. Extend that right arm up, twisting from the navel up. Now we're staying here for a couple breaths. Keep firming those outer thighs in to give you stability. Lifting up through that back left thigh towards the ceiling. Again, broaden your collarbones here. Maybe add slight back bend as you open up towards the sky. Maybe look up. Right palm faces forward. Keep firming that outer upper arm in. Staying here for a couple breaths. You can tent up on those left fingertips if you'd like. Maybe even raise up off those fingertips. Stay for one more breath here in our twist. And exhale, gently release that right arm down. Now send that right foot to meet the back foot. We're back in our plank pose. Drop your knees to the ground. Shift your torso forward. Bend the elbows lower all the way to the mat. Uncurl the back toes. You can send your arms out in front of you again. Palms face each other. Pinkies down, thumbs up. Press your feet down into the mat. Press your hips down. Inhale as you lift your head up and your arms up. Wrap those upper arms in. Palms face each other. And exhale, gently release the forehead to the mat. Catch your breath for a second. Let's do that one more time. Press down through the feet and the hips. Now on your next inhale, lift your head up. Chest up. Send the heart forward. Palms face each other. One more breath. And gently release the arms down. Place those palms beside your chest. Make sure the palms are underneath the elbows. Curl the toes under, lift up either through tabletop or come right up to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we're moving to the other side this time. So let's lift that left leg up, press that left heel back up at hip height. Now we're going to shift our torso forward, bend that left knee, send it to the outside edge of that left tricep. And inhale, re-extend that left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee bends, shoulders over wrists, left knee to left tricep. Inhale, extend. Let's do that one more time. Exhale, send your shoulders over your wrists, elbow to tricep. And then send the left knee to the inside edge of that left arm. Left foot comes down. In our low lunge, make sure that left foot is on the left side. Right foot is on the right side of the mat. Keep pressing that right heel back, lifting up through that right thigh. This time release your right hand underneath your right shoulder. And left arm comes up towards the ceiling, twisting from the navel up. So you know we're here for a couple breaths now. So just take your time to firm those outer thighs in towards each other, giving you the stability. Keep lifting up through that back thigh. Maybe roll your shoulders and broaden your collarbones. Draw the back of the shoulders down. Firm that outer upper arm in. Left palm turns to face towards the front. Staying for one more breath here, maybe tent upon those right fingertips. And exhale, gently release that left arm to the outside edge. Place both palms down. Extend that left leg back in your plank pose. Drop your knees to the mat. Shift your torso forward. Bend the elbows back, lower all the way down. Uncurl the back toes, extend the arms out. Press the tops of the feet and the hips into the mat. On your inhale, lift your arms up, head up, chest up. Again, lengthen through. Fingertips away from the toes. One more breath. Exhale, gently release. Do that one more time. Press the tops of the feet and the hips into the mat. Inhale, lift your arms up, head up, chest up. Palms facing in. Firm those outer upper arms in. One more breath. And exhale, gently release. Now place those hands back beside your chest. Curl those back toes under. Lift your hips up through tabletop or come right up through downward facing dog. Just stay here for a couple breaths. Downward facing dog may be one of the most famous inversions that we're all familiar with. And your downward facing dog, just let your head hang heavy. Maybe you shake it up and back. Shake it as you're saying yes. Maybe shake your head left and right. And create some more space in those shoulders there. Just let the head hang heavy. One more breath here in our down dog. Now let's inhale as we gaze forward. Bend the knees, exhale, walker step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms out and up, overhead, palms touch. And exhale, hands down to the center of your chest, and down to the sides. Just take a breath here to check in. And exhale. One more breath. And exhale. Now let's inhale the arms up overhead, palms touch, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Now stay in your forward fold. We're coming into chair pose. So have your knees nice and bent, send the arms forward, send the hips back, raise your torso up into your chair pose. Now again, both palms are facing each other. You're firming those outer upper arms in. Create that nice external rotation, creating space to draw your shoulders down your back. Send more of the weight into your heels. Make sure you can peek down and see your toes. Staying for one more breath in your chair pose. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins, nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold again. Place both palms to the mat. Step your right leg back, step your left leg back. We're in our plank pose here. Now drop to your knees. Stay here in our knee down plank pose. And we're going to release our right forearm to the ground, our left forearm to the ground. So we're in this knee down, forearm plank pose here. So I want you to start by sending your left palm underneath your right elbow. So your left palm comes underneath and you can raise up that right elbow. So it comes directly 90 degrees. Now extend that right leg back, Drop the right heel to the ground, and then you can lift that right arm up to the sky in our side plank variation here. If you want to go a little bit further, you can extend that left leg back so the outer edge of that left heel comes to the ground, and then that right leg comes to the top of that right leg, to the left foot. So you're gently pressing down through that left palm. And if you want to ramp it up just a little bit more, maybe raise that right leg up to your capacity. Keep flexing the right toes wherever you are. And exhale, gently release that right leg if it's up. Release that knee down if you had it up. And release that right forearm back to the ground. Come back to center with both knees to the ground and your forearm plank pose here with your knees down. So now we're going to send that right palm to where that left elbow is. Lifting that left elbow up, extending that left leg back. Drop that left heel to the ground. Press down through that right forearm and then raise that left arm up into our Sirsasana, our side plank here. Stay here, maybe extend that right leg back so the outer edge of that right foot comes down. Left foot comes on top of the right. Keep both feet flexed. Stay here, maybe lift that leg up in the air. Either way, keep pressing down through the forearm, rebound up through the shoulders. One more breath here. And gently release that left leg if it's up. Left forearm comes down to meet the right forearm. Release the right knees down. Uncurl those back toes. Let's press the hips back towards the heels in our child's pose again. Just taking a breath here. As you take a couple breaths, just check in. Again, we're building a little bit of heat, warming up those shoulders, making sure we're ready to go for our inversions. And again, this is the time you decide, how are you feeling today? Are you ready to challenge yourself? Inversions, they can allow you to face your fears, or they can, again, just be more calming, be more whatever you want them to be. So just check in with yourself today. How are you feeling? One more breath. And exhale. Now lift your hips up off your heels. Come back down to your forearms, but let's clasp those fingers again to where we had them before. So clasping, this time have the opposite fingers on top. So whatever pinky was down in there, let's switch it up. But make sure that pinky is on the inside edge. So it may feel a little different to maybe your least habitual grip here. I want to make sure we're balancing out both sides. So with that clasp, we're coming into our headstand prep, which is our dolphin pose. So with our forearms and our pinkies pressing down, make sure your shoulders are over your wrists, your shoulders are over your elbows. Just take a second to just take a peek and make sure the shoulders are over the elbows. Now extend that right leg back so it's straight. Press that right heel back and extend the left leg back so you're in your forearm plank pose with clasped hands. Now begin to walk those feet closer to the elbows. As you lift your hips up, keep your shoulders over your elbows. It's really important. Keep the shoulders over the elbows. And you walk your feet into your capacity. You can have a slight bend in your knees if you need to. If not, you can keep them straight. Now your head hangs heavy, so your head is not touching the ground at this point. It's hanging heavy. It's looking back between both of your shins. Keep pressing down through the outer edge of your wrists and your forearms, down through your elbows, and rebounding up through your shoulders, up through your back. Hips are lifting up towards the air. Stay for one more breath. And exhale, just walk your feet out slightly, come down to your knees. And press your hips back towards your heels, release your forehead to the ground. Just stay here in this kind of modified child's pose. Catch your breath for a moment. Keep your fingers clasped. We're moving into that again, but we're going to have the opportunity to lift our legs up in the air. So again, if you want to just stay where we were, you can do that. If you want to lift your legs up, that's what we're going towards next. So lift your shoulders back over your elbows. Again, make sure those elbows are shoulder width distance and they're not flaring out. That's going to give you the best alignment and stability for your inversions here. So shoulders over the elbows. Extend the right leg back, extend the left leg back. We're in our plank pose again here. Start to walk those feet in, keeping the shoulders over the elbows. Keep firming those outer upper arms in. Try not to dump into your shoulders as you gently walk your feet towards your elbows. Once you're nice and comfortable with your head hanging heavy,
You can lift your right leg up. Keep flexing that right foot. Right toes face the ground the whole time. And maybe come up on those left toes just to get a little bit more elevation. Just keep pressing down through the outer edge of the wrists and the forearms, lifting up through the shoulders to give a nice space in the shoulders. One more breath. Gently release the right foot to the ground and switch. Lift your left leg up. Keep flexing the left toes. Maybe come up on those right toes. Keep lifting that left heel up, keeping your pelvis neutral, pressing down through the wrist, through the outside edge of each forearm. One more breath here. And exhale, gently release the left leg, walk the feet back slightly, send the knees back down to the ground. Let's uncurl the back toes, release the clasp of your hands, shift your hips back towards your heels in your child's pose. Just take a couple deep breaths in your child's pose here. Now stay in your child's pose, but release your arms down to your sides so that the tops of your hands are back down toward your feet, palms face up. And just let your shoulders hang heavy here. Let this be a nice, comfortable, cooling pose here in your child's pose. Just take another breath or two. And exhale. Now send your arms back out in front, palms down. Lift your hips up off your heels. And you can lift your torso up. You can send your hips back towards your heels, but this is now the opportunity to come to a wall. So we're going to try our inversions now at the wall, which the wall can really help you as you're learning and as you're gaining the strength and awareness. If you don't need the wall and you know you can go up without it, don't worry about it. If you do need the wall, I'm just going to use these blocks as an example of the wall, just so you can see me better here. So if you do have some wall space, I'll give you another couple seconds to make sure you can get to the wall comfortably. And make sure you move your laptop or whatever you're using just so you can see me still. So remember the clasps of the fingers that we've been doing all week long, and we're going to bring that to the base of the wall. So again, this is my wall here, and I'm going to bring basically my knuckles to the wall and have my forearms down just as they have been before. So that's going to be the elbows or shoulder width distance coming to your knees here. Now, just getting familiar with this, let's release the top of our head in between the arms so that the back of our head is cradled by our fingers. Just see how that feels. So ideally, when we go up and we're inverting from this headstand position, we want majority of the weight to be in the arms, but you are bearing a slight amount of weight in the head. Maybe 25 to 30% of your weight is still going to be in the crown of your head. So we want to avoid dumping into our neck, and so that's why we're really trying to reinforce a nice long neutral spine, drawing the shoulders back firm in the outer upper arms in. So here's our chance. So just to become comfortable with it, we're going to start with this. So place the crown of your head to the ground, back of your head is cradled by your fingertips. You're at the wall here. Now on your knees with your toes curled under, let's begin by straightening both legs back and walking those legs in, kind of to our dolphin headstand prep, but this time the crown of our head is on the wall. Now walk the feet in a little bit closer, and you can bend one knee into your chest, and then release that knee down. Let's switch to the other knee, bend it into your chest, and just release it down. Let's do that one more time, each side. Bend the right knee into your chest, release that foot down, bend that left knee in, release that left foot down. Stay here for a moment. Again, draw the shoulders down, your back. Firm those outer upper arms in. Gently press the outside edges of those wrists and the forearms into the mat to rebound up. And just gently release your knees down, walk your feet back. Just stay with your forehead down, release the clasp of your hands, keep your forehead down on the mat, and send those arms back down beside your feet, backs of the hands to the ground. Just stay in your child's pose here, and just notice, how did that feel? Was that comfortable? Was that very unfamiliar? Is that something that you feel encouraged to try the next step. Because the next step is we're going to lift our legs up above us with our knees bent and use the wall as a guide to where your knees can come. I'm sorry, the backs of your feet can come. So take one more breath to check in with yourself, see if you're ready to advance. And either way, let's send our arms back forward, clasp those hands together. Again, both pinkies are pressing into the mat, so you have that one pinky in. Switch the clasp of your hands, maybe to the least habitual one. Let's even it out. Bring those knuckles to the wall. Elbows are now underneath the shoulders. Starting with your knees bent, curl the toes under. So you can go exactly where we were before, bringing one knee in and then the other. Or if you'd like, you can bring one knee and then we'll add the second one and you can try to balance. So extend that right leg back, extend the left leg back in your forearm plank. Walk your feet in and then release the crown of your head to the ground. Back of your head comes and is supported by your hands. Again, just get nice and comfortable here as you walk your feet closer. And just walk your feet as close as you can. You can have a slight bend in your knees. Again, you're going to be bearing a little bit of weight in your head here. And now here's where you can bend your right knee into your chest. Again, create some nice space to that shoulder. You can stay here and release the foot to the ground, or if you're coming up, keep that right knee hugging in, nice long tailbone, and maybe you bring that other left foot, bend that left foot up, and you can release both feet to the wall if you have it. With those both feet to the wall, try to, again, press down through the outside edge of the wrists and the forearms, lift up through the backs of the shoulders. Try to create a nice long tailbone, not crunching into the neck or the back. Take one more breath and gently release one foot to the ground. Release the other. Walk the feet back, knees to the ground. Release the clasp of your hands, forehead to the mat. And again, send your arms back behind you. Arms next to your feet. Just take a nice deep breath here. And exhale. Keep your forehead on the mat. You can gently rock it from side to side. So you're staying where you are and you're gently rocking your forehead from side to side. And just come back to stillness for one last breath here. And exhale. Alright, use your hands to gently press yourself up. And let's send our feet out in front of us. So if you're at the wall and you left your mat or you want to come back to your normal space, we're done with the wall, we're done with our inversions today. Just be grateful for what you're able to accomplish as we cool down for the rest of today. Now have your legs out in front of you. Knees are bent. Gently release your hands out in front of you. And as you rock yourself back, lift your feet off the ground, lift your heels off the mat. Let's come into our Navasana pose. So your legs can stay here. If you want to lift your shins up to parallel with the mat, you can do that. Just have your arms out in front of you, palms face up. Create a nice long spine. So make sure you're not curling here. You're still rooting down, rising up through the crown of your head. Envision someone had a string at your sternum and is lifting you up towards the ceiling. Staying for a couple more breaths here. If you'd like, you can straighten those legs for a little bit more here. Just stay for one more breath. Now everyone gently release the feet down to the mat. And you can gently roll down onto your back. You can hold onto your legs if you'd like as you gently roll onto your back. Now with your knees bent, feet are hips width distance, knees are hips width distance. Bend the right knee into your chest, open the right knee out to the side, and then release the right ankle to the top of that left knee. So the right knee's out to the side, the right ankle is on the top of that left knee. Now, press up off that left foot, draw the left knee into your chest, and you can wrap your hands either around your left thigh, maybe your left knee if you'd like. You can even wrap around your left thigh if you'd like to straighten that left leg where we were at the beginning of practice. You can do that as well. Either way, wherever you are, try to flex both feet and draw that right knee away from your chest. Really draw the right thigh away. You can have a slight bend in that left knee, even if you're straight kneed up to the sky. Just one more breath here. And exhale, gently release that left foot to the ground. Release that right foot back to where we started. And let's switch sides. So we're lifting the left foot up. Left outer ankle come to the top of that right knee. And now we have our options as we draw our right foot off the ground. Our hands can come to the back of our thigh, back of the shin, or if you want to hang on to that thigh and extend that right leg up towards the ceiling. And gently draw that left thigh away from your body. And flex both feet. Press that right heel up towards the mat if you're straightening. Up toward the ceiling if you're straightening. Just take one more breath here. Just realized we didn't have any visitors today yet. No floating cats today. And gently release that right foot to the mat. Release the left foot. Both feet are back down to hips width distance. Let's just add one more bridge pose here. So both palms down to the sides. Make sure your feet are underneath your knees. And your knees and your feet are hips width distance. Press down through your feet and your hands. On your next inhale, lift your pelvis up. Lift your chest up into your bridge pose. Spin your inner thighs in and down to keep your knees hips width distance. Draw your chin away from your chest and your chest toward your chin. Keep pressing down through your feet. If you want, you can interlace your fingers like we've been doing underneath your back, and then roll your shoulder blades under so that the tops of your arms are now pressing down. If you're not comfortable with that, just stay with your arms out to the side. You're still lifting up here in your bridge pose. We're here for 2 more breaths. One more breath here in your bridge pose. If your arms are clasped, gently release them. Release your shoulders out and gently roll down from the top of your spine. Hips are the last thing to arrive. Let's heel toe those feet out to the width of the mat. Let the knees fall into touch. Arms out to the sides, palms face up, and just gently rock the knees from side to side. Constructive rest here, always a good pose too. Just loosen up that low back, that SI joint, in case we have any last little bit of tension there. Now next time your knees fall off to the right, just let them be off to the right. And if you can stay there, or if you'd like, you can place the outer edge of that right ankle on top of that left knee. Gives you a little bit of a deeper stretch. Have both arms out to the side, either in a T shape or field goal pose with the palms face up. And try to maintain that left shoulder on the mat. Gazes up towards the ceiling, or you can look over those left fingertips. Just take a couple deep breaths here in our spinal twist. One more breath. Gaze comes back up towards the ceiling. Release that ankle from on top of the knee if you have it. Feet are both out, but then lift those knees back up to center. Keep the feet out to the width of the mat. And let your knees fall off to the left side this time. If you'd like, you can place the outer left ankle on top of the right knee. A little bit of a deeper stretch on the right side of the body. Keep both palms up with the arms extended. Maybe you gaze over those right fingertips, keeping that right shoulder on the ground. Nice deep spinal twist. Just 2 more breaths here. And just gently release, forehead comes back up. Release that ankle from on top of the knee. Both knees come back up. Heel to those feet back into hips width distance. Knees separate to hips width. Draw the knees into your chest. Gently wrap your hands around those thighs or those shins. Give a nice little last squeeze here. Maybe you draw your shoulders and your head up towards your knees. Nice little squeeze here. Last squeeze. Take one more inhale. And exhale as you release. Straighten the legs forward. Arms extend overhead. Extend those fingertips away from the toes. Toes point away from the body. One last full body stretch here. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And exhale, gently release. Arms down to the sides. Palms face up. Let the knees and the feet fall out to the side in your Shavasana pose. Final posture of this evening. Just let yourself deepen into this pose. Release any bit of tension you have on the breath or any parts of your body. Maybe your eyes soften or your gaze closes completely. Just let your body settle and melt into the mat here. And just begin to bring some awareness back into your body. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rotate your wrists and your ankles. And switch directions in those rotations. And just come back to stillness for one last breath here. Now gently roll over to one side of your body. You slightly bend your knees as the top arm meets the bottom knee rest on top. Just stay for a breath here on your side. And try to keep your eyes softened or your gaze closed as you use your top arm to press yourself up and come into a comfortable cross-legged seated position as we complete our practice today. As you find your comfortable seat, your palms can rest on top of your knees, palms face up, or bring your hands into the center of your chest. Let's take one deep inhale together and exhale. Thank you for joining me in practice tonight. The light and love in me acknowledges and honors the light and love in each one of you. Thank you. Peace. Oh, again, thank you all so much for joining me in practice this Friday evening. I hope you really enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Inversions are tough, really. And it's really important to reinforce the foundations of the pose so that you can safely advance your practice. And so I really hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you always have any questions or suggestions or feedback of any kind, you can always leave comments, leave something in the chat. I know a lot of you email me or reach out to me on Instagram. All that info is in the description. So I appreciate all the feedback that you've given me. I've already got some suggestions for locations for next week. So say goodbye to the jungle waterfall. We'll be moving somewhere else next week. I appreciate all of you out there. Again, happy early Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And Mom, if you're watching, hi, happy Mother's Day. So enjoy the rest of your Friday evening and your weekend to come. Again, if you have any donation interest, that link is in the video description. Any other questions, just reach out to me. Take how you feel, send it in through the rest of the weekend, and enjoy yourselves. I'll see you next time. Next practice will be next week, Monday at 7 p.m. Oh, hi, Yangi. But take care, and I will talk to you all later. Thank you again. My name is Daniel. Peace.